Welcome to Sold Out Sales School, the podcast for women with heart-led, impact-driven offers who are tired of being the internet's best-kept secret. I'm Trish Ware, mom of 7, former labor nurse turned 7-figure business owner and business mentor for B2C brands. If you're marketing to moms, parents, or real people who are not going to make money off your offer, this show was made for you. You tried the big name coaches, but their strategies weren't built for your audience. Here, we do sales differently. No bro marketing, no cold DMs, no weird hooks, no fake urgency, just clear messaging, aligned offers, and strategy that actually converts. You're not here to hustle harder and miss all your family events. You're here to scale smarter with simplicity. So let's get you sold out. Hey there, welcome back to Sold Out Sales School, the space where we are learning to ditch burnout and build real connection through content and messaging that sells our offer with intention. So last week we talked about the tyranny of urgency. If you haven't listened to that, stop this one, go back to last episode. And we talked about how hustling without intention keeps you stuck in the chaos instead of building the life you actually want. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when you pause. What happens when you slow down? Because when you finally stop chasing and start listening, that is where revelation happens. That is where growth happens. You don't need to grind harder. I know you feel like you do. You need to get quiet long enough to hear what matters and what is next for you in your business. We're going to talk about why rest feels so hard for women like us, entrepreneurs who are building profitable business, because let's be honest, rest feels uncomfortable when you've built your life around being everything to everyone. And a lot of us, we're moms, we're wives, and that's nurses, doctors, experts, right? We've been everything to everyone. You've been the one that holds it together, the mom, the coach, the creator, the one who keeps showing up, even when you are running on fumes. And when you do finally sit still, like you find yourself grabbing your phone, like getting busy, like you can't be quiet because you don't know what to do with yourself. You feel guilty, you feel lazy, you feel like you're falling behind. If I don't do this one thing. But here's the truth. You're not lazy. You're freaking tired, girl. And you're not falling behind. You're being refined. Rest isn't weakness. It's wisdom. So I've learned something over the years. Your next big idea, the big magic does not come when you're pushing. It comes when you're pausing. It's why it happens when you're about to fall asleep or when you're just waking up in the morning. Every time I've had a breakthrough in my businesses, whether it's Labor Nurse Mama or it's Trish Ware Coaching, a new offer, a rebrand, a micro experience, a message that literally lands, it comes when I'm quiet. It does not come in the busyness. Rest is where clarity lives. It's where your ideas will drop in, your strategy will align, and the overwhelm will finally make sense. You cannot hear your next step when you're drowning in all the noise of all the things that scatter in your brain. Like, I need to create more content. I need to get online. I need to go live. I need to send an email. I need to tweak my landing page. That is just noise, and you're not giving yourself space to receive the magic. That's why when I teach my clients inside of Content Mastery, we don't just talk about content calendars, we talk about capacity, because your creativity can't flow when you're exhausted. When you stay in constant motion, you start running your business out of fear, not out of faith. You're posting because you have to. You're selling because you're stressed. You're planning out of a panic mode. And what you will attract is more chaos because your energy becomes the atmosphere of your business. Let that land again. Your energy is the atmosphere of your business. When you operate from peace, your audience will also feel that as well. Your BFE does not want another expert shouting at them. They want someone who's grounded, who's confident, who's calm, someone they can trust. They have enough busyness as well. Rest will build that type of leader. It's not about taking a week off and doing nothing. Hear me. Do not hear, like that's not the case. It's about learning how to pause long enough to lead your business. When you start having people working for you, you have to be able to pause to lead. If you want to grow without burning out, this is it. Stillness, pausing is your secret weapon. I told you last week, one of my mentors, one of my coaches said, slow down to scale up. And that's my thing now, slow down to scale up. When I slowed down last fall, I slowed down and I had one of my biggest, it was almost a week, 80K in a week. Like what? $80,000 from slowing down. I didn't do more. I was just more intentional. When you rest, you remember who you are. You see what actually matters. You get clarity on what to do next. Not everything, just the next right step. And when you build from that space, you create content that connects and offers that sell out, not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. You make sense. Your energy is calm and confident. And that is what will scale your business, which is kind of funny because that's what my birth course is called. This is not another hack or trend. This is stillness that will scale your business. I know you're probably sitting there thinking, but Trish, like I'm so busy already. I have the kids. I'm homeschooling. I'm still working as a nurse. I don't have time to rest. Like I have to squeeze these little moments in, but you do. You really do. You're not telling the truth right now, girl. You're lying to yourself. You just not giving yourself permission. So I want you to do a few things. Here's how to start. I want you to take a 24-hour business Sabbath. No content, no planning, no catching up, no just checking in, no just looking real quick. Just be. Go for a walk. Let your brain breathe. Here's the other thing. I do want you to go for a walk. I want you to walk without your phone. No podcasting, no audibles, books, nothing. No Instagram, just silence. You'll be shocked how loud that voice becomes when you're not consuming everyone else's voices. Listen to you. Slow down. So taking a 24-hour business Sabbath, walking, going on a walk out in nature. Hopefully it's nice weather where you are right now, and listen without anything and ask yourself this question. Here's another thing. Okay, before you do this, here's what I want you to do. Every single day, I want you to have at least a 5 to 10 minute walk outside without anything, just you. Maybe baby's in the stroller, whatever, but take a pause without technology. And then I want you to ask yourself this question. What would rest look like if I believed it was productive? My husband always says to me, what are the questions you're asking yourself? And he's like, that's the most powerful thing that will change everything is the questions you're asking yourself. So if you're in panic mode thinking, oh my gosh, what if this launch, I don't sell anything? Instead of this launch, I will sell. Out of the pause, out of the quietness, you are manifesting the things you don't want. If you're focusing on what you don't want, you're manifesting that. Here's the thing. The more successful you become, the more rest you'll need, not less. Because scaling requires space. You're not behind for slowing down. You're preparing for your next level. Your audience doesn't need a hustled version of you. That doesn't help them. They're already freaking scattered themselves. They need a whole version of you. A quiet and calm version of you. Now, you've got your 3-part assignment, okay? If this episode spoke to you, if you know you're ready to grow without grinding yourself into the stinking ground, then I want to invite you into the Content Mastery Mastermind. This is where I help women like you build powerful visibility and content strategies that sell without burning out, without the overwhelm. So go to trishwarecoaching.com/apply. You do have to apply. We'll get on a call, a 15-20 minute call, and see if we are a fit to work together. And we'll talk about what it looks like to scale with peace, not panic. Remember this, action takers are money makers. You are the magic. Do not forget it. As always, hit subscribe, write a review, and I'll see you next week for part 3, remembering who you are. Selling from your identity, not from being overwhelmed. All right, I will see you again next week. Bye for now.